The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Hello there, and welcome back to Knights of the Old Republic, the show where your favorite nerds... Did I say Knights of the Old Republic? Knights of the Nerd Republic, not the video. This isn't the video game, as you can tell. We got some great beards on air, but no Revan beards. This is Knights of the Nerd Republic. I know the name of the show, where your favorite nerds talk all things from the galaxy far, far away. I am your host, Jared the Dark Jedi Bachman Subs, and joining me is everyone's favorite Gungan Sith Lord, Levi Bomb.
Ahoyo, me SpongeBob Oyos. How's it going, everyone?
Yes, Oyo.
I have not been on Knights in a while.
You've not.
So
you've been busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad that got a laugh because I didn't think it was going to. And we are joined by the lore keeper himself, Connor Chikiti.
Hello there, everyone.
Hello there, indeed. We got a good episode for you guys. We got a great episode of the Bad Batch we're going to talk about.
Pretty good.
Part 1 of the finale. Really excited. But first, we have a not great Star Wars story to talk about. I understand that crazy stuff like this, you gotta make up for the price of building this sort of thing. I get it. I just want to say up top, as cool as the Galactic Star Cruiser sounds, all kinds of fun amenities, all kinds of cool stuff to do. You get to be a Jedi. You get first dibs at the exclusive retractable toy lightsaber, right? There's a whole lot of cool stuff at Galactic Star Cruiser. Okay, there's a lot of really neat stuff there. That said,
also costs $2,000.
Yep. These prices are in friggin' sane.
$3,000 for a family.
Yeah. Cost per guest or voyage total. Like, this is not counting the stuff you're gonna want to buy, like the lightsaber, right? I think that this is so absurd of a price tag to put on anything. Like, I don't understand how one can make the money, like the part can make the money back for something like this. You know what I mean? Like, either you're shooting to a base of people who can't afford this, that is just not your average goer to anything.
It's the Canto bike dealers.
Yeah, honestly,
this is literally
like, you
just
have to be
that scene in Last Jedi where Rose was talking about the war profiteers. This is them. That's who they're catering to.
Yeah, honestly,
it's
this
insane.
Is just so absurd and so upsetting. It's like, it's highway robbery. I feel like if you buck down the individual costs to do this, they will make more money in the long run for people who can afford to do it. Like, I'm sure staying at a Walt Disney Resort is already a pricey thing. Like, I don't know off the top of my head how much it is to stay at Disney World or Disneyland. But this is insane. This is insane. I don't...
Yeah.
Again, like, who the hell can actually go? You know? Like, Lexi put it best. She put it on Twitter. She was like, this is highway robbery. You can love what Disney makes and hate their shitty business practices. And, we were talking about that earlier this week with both these prices and, the whole Scarlett Johansson situation with the Disney Plus release of Black Widow and all that stuff. Like, this is just a big L for everybody involved. Like, there's a lot of people who would never be able to do this. A lot of people who, like, this would just be just utter bliss, beginning to end, happiest days of your life. Like, I remember how much I enjoyed being at Galaxy's Edge. Like, plain old Galaxy's Edge, going around the park. I felt like I was in a Star Wars. It was amazing. This could be amazing if it was not bogged down with these insane prices. Like,
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not going.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who is.
Like, unless they
there are some
down, unless they jack them down, there's no way any of us on the team, or really anyone, or most people really, are able to go. Like, there's no way. We're going to have, like, you're taking out a mortgage, basically.
No.
Honestly, yeah. Like, and again, I feel like you can make more money by making this more available to more people.
Yeah.
And that's to say nothing of the way that they're monetizing the parks further. Like, I saw one person on Facebook from Europe talking about how, like, you can basically, like, buy a place in line for the rides and stuff now. Like, beyond just having Fast Pass be a part of your thing, where you get, like, X amount of Fast Pass for the day, you can just go do stuff. Which any of you who are going to Disneyland or Disney World, figure out how your Fast Pass works. I made that mistake. Alexis made that mistake. Get your money's worth, because that shit was put on your ticket. Like getting to charge more to get more Fast Pass. I don't know exactly how it works, but like there's so much money making opportunity here if you let more people do it.
Yeah. If you cut the price down, they're going to make more money in the long term than if they stay with these prices. It's like not that hard to realize.
Yeah. And that's just saying nothing of all the cool stuff in there. Again, that retractable lightsaber. You're going to how much money? No one's going to be able to buy the lightsaber if they're already going to be like, all right, kids, no one's going to eat for the next 3 months, but we got to go on the Star Cruiser, Like, you're not. This makes me so angry.
I need my shell money.
Huh?
I need my shell money.
Yeah, I know. We need our paychecks for saying nice things about Disney.
I think that's what we're missing, actually, Jared, is our show money. Our show money is going to be able to pay for this.
I know. We'll be able to pay for it once we get our mouse paychecks, because we favorably review things. Although we might see a pay cut because Suicide Squad's going to get a good review on TNet proper. So be warned, we're going to say a nice thing about WB for once. So just everybody be aware. Our we're all going to see a Disney pay cut because we said something nice about the competition. But yeah, no, this is absurd, and I'm not going to be there anytime soon unless I hit some kind of lotto in the next couple days, which isn't going to happen.
That's literally the only way any of us are going to be able to pay for it, is if we hit the lottery.
Yeah.
At that point, just make it in your own home.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
You'd be like, you know what? I live in a Star Cruiser now, just to spite Disney.
Yep.
Yeah. But
the breaking news, everyone. The TNAP garage, it's now a Star Cruiser. You heard it here first.
TNAP garage.
Listen, the studio is inside of a garage. This is the studio.
The studio's a Star Cruiser now.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks.
And for everybody at home, the space you always see us in is not the garage itself. There is a small building inside of this building, is how it works.
We helped make it.
Yes. We are not just in a corner of the garage. We are in a building inside of the garage. Which I just think is funnier. Like, I just love every time I come in here, I kind of sometimes forget that we just put a building in a building.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny and neat. It also makes me happy and proud. But yeah, this is absurd. And that's the only news we have this week, unfortunately. Moving into our review of The Bad Batch. This is really good. I really like this. Knocked my socks off. We were right halfway about the Empire, sending Topeka City to a watery grave.
I was thinking that when it happened. I mean, I was thinking that after the fact, but while I was watching Topeka City get destroyed, I was like, ouch.
I want to make, because we've been doing okay. Like, as a network, I was super wrong about WandaVision except for the Agatha Harkness twist. So what I really want to do is like at the end of the year make a supercut of all the shit we got right on the shows. Put that in there, like the Topeka City getting obliterated.
Yeah.
Obviously, it would be very dishonest because we're leaving out the context of there being a clone rebellion to cause it. Which could still happen because the clones seemingly have been decommissioned but not killed.
Yep.
At least according to what they're saying so far. Yeah. Sent off world. We don't know what world. We don't know what they're doing.
Alderaan.
Oh, no. I feel like the rebels would have had a better standing army if they were all sent to Alderaan.
Yeah. But then I remember the other thing, and I immediately thought of you when they said it, was when Rampart, I think either Rampart or an officer said the clone attack has been moved and secured. And I immediately thought of you, Jared, because of that whole theory of, if Topeka City gets destroyed, I can see the Empire sifting through the wreckage and finding some like incomplete research. And it's like, hey, this sounds useful. Let's take it. And the
cloning tech. I thought you said clone attack. I got very confused.
No.
Yeah, they have the equipment. Yeah, they have the equipment. And that's the other interesting thing. And like what we said before is that like the reason the whole Palpatine cloning thing by the time of the Rise of Skywalker isn't working well for him. You still have it's impossible to clone Force sensitives mumbo jumbo there. Because I think with Omega, it's pretty safe to say that the whole Omega being Force sensitive thing is for the dogs at this point.
Yeah, it's off the table.
Like after we got the twist about her being like, yeah, in the long term, I think that's better. I like the idea that she's essentially Jango Fett's daughter in the same way that Boba Fett is his son. So I like that. I can live with that.
What was the twist?
This is in an episode you saw, I believe, that she, like Boba Fett, is a direct genetic copy, except for the fact that, like, the gender change, that was like the only
girl.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Or the sex change, rather. So, like, yeah, other than that, she's a direct copy of Jango Fett. And that, like, Boba was originally codenamed Alpha. And that's where the Alpha and Omega thing come into play. Okay. But Jango eventually gave him the name of Boba.
Right.
Where technically she's Omega Fett. Which just saying that name, her full name out loud, sounds fan fictiony. But yeah, Connor, thoughts on this week's episode?
A lot of Star Wars names sound fanficky.
Yo, you're right. There is this one person at the club I work at. I've never met him, but we've pulled his number twice for the daily in the past couple months, and he has the Star Warsiest name I've ever heard of, like, just a normal person in Western PA, Jarris Weller.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me that isn't just a background Jedi.
No,
right?
That's either a background Jedi or like someone in the Guavian Death Gang.
Yeah, Jarris Weller.
Yeah. Like
it's right up there with patron Kason Breon, right? Like that does not sound like a real person's name.
Yeah, he has a pretty Star Wars name.
Yeah. that Star Wars: The Lord of the Rings is what he always gets. Where it's like, is that actually your name, or just like an OC for a video game?
That actually
like,
sounds more Lord of the Rings than Star Wars to me. Cason Bria. I don't know. Like the Cason sounds. I'd say the Cason sounds more Lord of the Rings than Star Wars, and the Brion also could. Brion also sounds, I think, a bit more.
I'm the other direction.
Yeah,
I think Cason sounds Star Warsy, but Brion sounds way too Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no, Brion definitely does. It's just Cason. I think. I don't know. I think just the way it's spelled that I know of it is that it just feels. I'm not sure. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. No, yeah. But at any rate, thoughts on the episode. Unless you have anything else, or
this is definitely my second favorite episode. It could be my first, depending on like a rewatch of the entire season. Pretty much just everything I've kind of looked forward to once this show started just came all wrapped into one episode. Like Republic to Empire transition. Camino not Camino getting demolished, but like seeing Camino bear the brunt of that transition. Basically a Crosshair redemption arc happening. Really cool action sequences, really cool moments with Omega and the squad.
Okay, so we're going in a very different direction with Crosshair. Okay, I like it.
So like everything I've
discourse.
Looked forward to just all in one episode. And like my bias aside, actually no, there's no biases. I can't put my bias aside for the writer. I freaking interviewed the man. Just he gets it. Like, I don't want to be like I don't want to sound like one of those people that's like, oh, they just get Star Wars, but like he gets it. And
no, I think that's completely valid. I do think Miknovitz has his finger on the pulse with like what makes a really good Star Wars.
Yeah. And
I think he has that. I think he has the correct like storytelling, like synapse
technique
in his brain. Yeah.
And like it makes sense because a snippet of the interview that I did with him, he talked about how he likes to push Star Wars and just likes to make it richer and not just do the same thing over and over and over again. And just like with the episodes he's written here and just his other work beforehand, it's like you have shown that. So
yeah, and I want to real quick harken back to last week, the conversation we had, where it felt like the show was like not utilizing a lot of like classic Star Wars music.
Oh yeah.
Right? And that's the thing. Like there, like so much of the newer canon in terms of music, like just spam the same leitmotifs and melodies. Not that that's a bad thing. The music's really good. And like it carries with it a lot of like themes and emotions. Like it's really easy to just use the music as shorthand in the story with Star Wars because of like the back catalog of that John Williams music. The use of that like Obi-Wan's arrival on Camino theme here, loved it. It gave me goosebumps the first time I watched
back to the Lego Star Wars games.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I forgot how much I love that like yeah.
It's so good. Like
it almost makes me want to watch Attack of the Clones. Like almost. And that's saying something.
Yeah, it's just the music, just how it was utilized here for just the story in this episode was absolutely incredible.
Plus, like the really triumphant version of the Bad Batch theme.
Oh my god!
When they were like all like working together again and gunning down the droids, that was a really nice touch as well.
Yeah.
Connor, you got any more? Oh, sorry.
I mean, most of my notes, I just feel like we're going to get into them with like Crosshair and Hunter and just their interactions. But just, it was incredible. So overall, it was really good. A really solid episode. And I'm really nervous, but also really excited for the part 2.
As am I, my friend. As am I.
When did Crosshair get his chip out?
So
Was it after he got completely destroyed?
That's a good one.
I have a couple ideas there that I want to talk about.
Because he didn't always have that scar, right?
Well, that's my question. Is that a burn? Is that from whenever he gets scorched on Braca? Or is that from him getting it cut out or taking it out himself? I think one of two things are happening personally. I think either A, he's lying.
Yeah.
I think there's a part of him that like wants to see what their response is. Like when he goes, "What? Like why does it matter when it came out to you? Like at what point is what I've done too much for you?" And he's lying about the chip being out. But like the mark and the way the hunter checks it, I feel like they're implying that it's been out.
Yeah.
You know, I think that if he does not have an inhibitor chip, it happened when he got scorched on Braca.
I don't remember him having a scar there.
Yeah.
Maybe previously. Right.
So I think that maybe like it got fried and they took it out and he was like, yeah, I like killing. It's fine. We're on the same team, bud.
Because like I'm thinking too, and this might be a bit far-fetched, but like what if the chip got fried when in like the first episode when they intensified the programming? I don't know.
That's an option.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that I'm so confused about with the chip is that like right before they ask him about it, he clutches his head again.
Ooh. That is true.
He like reaches for his head like he did in the pilot. You know, and he keeps doing.
They examined it, right? They looked at the chip and they said, yeah, it didn't have as much of a reaction, but
it's still not perfect.
Fine.
Yeah, like it's not perfect, but it's usable. Turn it up, make him crazier.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Like I'm just really confused by what we're supposed to take from that exchange.
I mean,
because like he reaches for it.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Okay, so because I personally really, really liked how Matt took a more compelling route with Crosshair, because what I was thinking was going to happen was the chip's still in, and for all as we know, it could very well just still be in, and Crosshair's just a really good liar, unlike Wrecker. The chip's still in, and they would have been like, "Oh, let's remove it," and then they remove it, and then Crosshair does like a 180. But like, what I really like about this route that they took with Crosshair now is maybe Crosshair's just trying to convince himself that this is who he is, but like at the same time, maybe it's who he truly is. And to me, at least, it opens an avenue of redemption for him. Not like, I don't think it's going to go full Ben Solo redemption where he turns completely good in the blink of an eye, but I think it's going to be more gradual.
I think it's mostly who he is.
I'm very interested at this point
because I always hated Crosshair. And he was always a cynicist and narcissist in the sense of believing like 99 was better than the regs. And he was always just the soldier, follow the orders, do the orders, right?
Get the job done.
Get the job done. And the only true loyalty he did have, it seemed, was with the Bad Batch. Right? To me, he doesn't come off as someone who has any real love for the Republic, which is obvious because like he stuck with the Empire when the Empire took over. And if we're assuming that the chip, was out of sync since the beginning because it wasn't working as well as it had on the regs, then Crosshair is good at his profession. He's sticking with his profession.
Yeah.
And it also explains the betrayal he felt with the Bad Batch. So I think this is who he is. And if the chip is still in, then this is an opportunity for him to mend relations with the Bad Batch. I don't think...
And
I wouldn't even use the word redemption, honestly.
Well, you were saying at the very beginning of all of this that, like, if he's being held hostage by his chip, this is a Winter Soldier situation where it's like Crosshair is not in control of what he is doing. He needs, I don't know why what word I got wired in my head there. That he is not Squidward. That's what it was.
Squidward?
I'm making a joke that he's like Squidward.
Crosshair. The hard-ons are crossing.
That you said before, it's like a Winter Soldier situation. It's a rescue. You're trying to get him
Did
out.
I say that?
Yeah. I mean, I made the Winter Soldier comparison, but you said it's a rescue, not a redemption. At the very beginning of all of this. And like, I just truly don't know what to make of it. I think that, making another Marvel comparison, it could also kind of be like a Loki situation where it's like, I keep doing these horrible things because it's kind of a cry for help. And like that one line that got a reaction out of you, where he was he was like, you were trying to kill me. We didn't have a choice. They're like,
and I did.
And I like that.
Because that implies he still had the chip then.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like the idea that at one point Crosshair had a chip. And that's why part of me feels really inclined to say that the chip got damaged when he got cooked. Because he went from shoot Omega to get her the hell out of here.
That's true. That's true.
And that is where I feel like the change happened. Because he was very okay with killing her. And in that situation, and if he's like really trying to barter with the Bad Batch, and I think it's interesting that he was brainwashed into like being a part of the Empire, but free of the brainwashing, still believes in the mission. Mm-hmm. Now, how he feels come the next episode after the Empire was okay with sending him to a watery grave. And
that's where my saying he's only really loyal to the Bad Batch is going to come in. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was just doing what he was doing, A, because he's good at it. That's all he's known. B, that's how he's going to not be killed by the Empire. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And again, I think the moment that he chooses to stop trying to kill them, because he had no problem killing them on Braca. Shoot Omega, turn that engine on, fry him.
Yeah.
You know? And it completely shifts for him. Because he says, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead.
Yes.
Well, you wanted them dead on Braca. What changed? I think he got cooked, and that's the difference. And that's where he's gone from, like you said, hardwired to the Empire to, as you were saying, being loyal to the Bad Batch itself.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing. Has he been truly indoctrinated by the Empire? Is he holding on to something so that he maintains that purpose? Right? Because I feel like that's an interesting... Because again,
I feel like he is. Because, like, again, he tried to recruit them.
Yeah. And that's been, like, a fun theme throughout the show is, like, finding one's purpose. Crosshair feels like he's found purpose within the Empire.
With the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Not
and
with
he's
the
trying...
Empire.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why he's so latched on to pulling them in, is that he sees that as their, like, being a warrior for whatever the governing body of the galaxy is. I think his whole identity is wrapped up in the purpose of being a soldier.
Yeah, that's how they survive. Yep. He's looking out for them in his own way. That's why he did this.
But I
just love the whole.
It was such a good twist. It was so much like both of you have said, low hanging fruit to just be like, oh no, he's bad, stun him, get him on the ship, snip, ships out. Oh guys, I'm sorry, it's cool. You weren't in control of this situation. Like, it was low hanging fruit. I'm sure there's very great ways they could have handled that. You know, where it's like, this was the easy choice, but you know, Occam's razor, sometimes the simplest solution is the most, you know, rational one. This makes him so much more complex.
Yep.
And again, I love the idea that even free of the chip, he's
still an
the
asshole.
Empire as being in the right. Like he's a prick regardless, but he thinks the Empire is right.
Yes.
No, I don't think that's it.
You don't think
I
he
don't
does?
think that's it. I keep saying it's the way they survive. I don't think he cares if they're right or wrong. That is how he and his friends in the Bad Batch are going to not be killed by the ruling body.
I like the choice a lot, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
To your point, Levi, he kind of echoes that when he's like, "We're not like the regs. We're superior. Like the Empire protects the galaxy with strength. If we join them, we'll provide more of that strength. If I get you guys in with me,
exactly,
just we'll survive and be secure." So it's that's a good point. One I never really considered.
It's just utilitarian thinking, which I think also fits Crosshair.
Yeah,
I
think you're right on that. I want answers on the chip. I want to know if it's what
I feel like we're gonna find out
Chunky
next
Chips
episode.
Ahoy? Is it Gooey Chips Ahoy?
Probably. It's the way he reaches for his head and then immediately goes, "Oh, I haven't had a chip for some time." It's like something isn't adding up, or like maybe he has like a partial chip, and like at this point, it's just like in his head, and it hurts.
Yeah.
After it got torched, but
and to move on earlier in that sequence, because like honestly, just the way that whole part was just written between Hunter and Crosshair, and just that whole scene was incredible. And I think probably one of my favorite lines in the entire show was when Crosshair says, and it's why I'm going to give you what you never gave me, a chance. Absolutely phenomenal.
That was so good.
It literally gave me Last Jedi, Kylo Ren,
you know what?
Solo vibes.
Put this on the list. I'm sorry.
No, that was it.
I've seen a lot of people making that comparison. I understand it. Like I see where people are coming from with it. It's not one I would make myself, but I get the vibe and the similarity. And now I'm gonna like validate it even further. Put that on the list of like anti-hero, fallen hero, my favorite type of character trope things is the "I'm gonna give you what you never gave me" type line. Because anytime I've heard a character say that in a show or a movie, they immediately won me over. Like legitimately, Hunter went from like, "Oh yeah, he's all right. I'm kind of a wrecker, an Echo guy." Like he might already be he might be my favorite member of the Bad Batch now. Like just like this one episode, like made him an interesting character beyond the obvious one to become a villain.
Yep.
You know,
it was
like
just
it really sold me on Crosshair's character.
It did for me too. I mean, I already liked him, but I wasn't like enamored with him. And just after Friday's episode, I'm kind of enamored with him now. So
I would buy the Crosshair Funko Pop now. You know what I mean?
It just has to be without the helmet.
Yeah,
and also, like, honestly,
I like his helmet. Echo has the best helmet, and I feel like there's no arguing against that. No,
it's
really
Crosshairs. I like Crosshairs too. I think I like it's kind of like Echo, Crosshair, and all of the rest of them are pretty much tied. I like Tech's armor the most. I like Tech and Hunter's armor the most. Like I like the way that like Tex is kind of sectioned off, and like the way he has like the brown like gunslinger holsters. I like that on Tech a lot. And I like the way that Hunter's chest plate is.
Yeah.
I am excited to see because the next episode, the season finale, it's gonna have again, it's one of those situations, kind of like with the Mandalorian, where you deliberately put yourself in a narrative hole that you have to dig yourself out of, not in a bad way, just that this kind of three episode season finale, because I feel like the end of the whatever the name of the episode, War Mantle,
Yeah.
was just as important as what we have here. So kind of like the Mandalorian of you go to Tython, Grogu gets kidnapped by the Empire. You have to do the believer where you get the rest of the team back and you get your intel and you do your thing, figure out where Gideon's at. And then you have the rescue where you go in and get Grogu back. Kind of the same thing here. Hunter gets kidnapped. We rescue him and potentially Crosshair. And now they have to escape Camino, which was already going to be difficult, but now Topeka City is submerged.
Echo's gonna die next episode.
That is your prediction. You're calling it now.
Last of the dominoes has to fall.
I hope you're wrong.
He's the
hope
one
you're
who
wrong.
can easily hack into any remaining systems that can be functioned. He's the one who stays, opens up some sort of portal, whatever BS, to get them out. It's like a Halo Reach sort of scenario.
I want
Long
you
Night of Solace
to be wrong so badly. I don't want any of them to die.
No, same.
I hope you're
What
wrong.
is the name of that Spartan?
I have no
George? Is his name just George?
We'll call him George.
Yeah, we'll call him George for now. That's his placeholder name.
You
Another
ever
really.
played-
I haven't. I should, but I haven't.
Never mind then.
We've established that I'm not good at Halo, so that's known.
No,
The next episode, sorry.
No, you're good. Just another really fun, not fun moment, but one moment was just that I thought of, especially with just all our theorizing back and forth over the course of the season, was when Crosshair tries to recruit them, and literally my first thought was Scar Squadron, and then Hunter was like, "You don't know who we really are, do you?"
Yeah, it was George. I was right.
I don't mean this. That's good. I don't mean this as any offense to you or anyone who's entertained the Scar Squadron theory. I hate it.
No.
So much.
Same. No. I'm the same way. That was just where my brain went to. Like I've said on nights before, I would be much more content if it was, this Clone Force 99 thing, this Clone Force 99
spiritual successors.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Let's make our own. Because I just feel like, I don't want anything bad to happen to the Bad Batch. I know, oxymoron, right? And B, I'm all for connections, but I just feel like this would be too direct.
Yeah. Also, them
taking
new names would be weird.
Yeah, and Jason Aaron, the writer of one of the writers of the main Star Wars run, even said that Scar Squadron is the reason he made Scar Squadron was because I can't remember his exact verbiage, but he basically said that Scar Squadron was inspired by Clone Force 99. We don't know in what capacity, and hopefully we'll find out by the end of this show because we're getting a second season. But yeah, I just hope that's not the case, that they don't directly become Scar Squadron. So, but it's just, that's where my brain went to when he's like, join me. So, and then Hunter was like, no.
Yeah. I also one of my favorite little gadgets that has been used a few times throughout Star Wars are those blaster reflecting mirrors.
Oh my god!
That he used to score a pentakill.
Yeah,
that was
somehow
wonderful.
I love it. It is just so silly and goofy, and I remember the first time I watched the episode, I missed Echo or not Echo, Tick, looking at it. Like I missed him notice it.
Goes
To
Rick, and Rick's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, like I missed him because like, there's a moment where you see Tech go, like he looks at it, and then you get the really cool shot where you're seeing their reflection in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I watched already. I've already seen the Suicide Squad. There's a really cool shot similar to that in the Suicide Squad. That might be one of my favorite shots in the whole movie. It's very clever camera work. But there's that moment, and watching it the second time, I saw him see it, and then saw the POV shot of them looking at themselves in the mirror. And then Crosshair just going, "All right," and
it's very
How do we
convenient
know
that
we can
his
trust
blaster
you?
pistol is
Bam.
strong enough to go through 5 people.
I mean, he's the resident gunner. I feel like he has the gas on him.
Yeah. He shot Orn.
I feel like it would
time,
only
didn't
make sense for
kill
him to have like the. Yeah.
Like that- yeah.
What's that?
He shot Orn Free Ta and didn't kill him. Like,
I feel like that had more to do with him being precise and aiming for like the head fat.
yeah.
But
More than the.
I don't
yeah.
know.
I
Why
loved it.
wouldn't they give that tech to armies?
Stop bringing all this logic into the space fairy tale.
Phew, 1 shot, 20 dead.
I feel like
Because
it
it could just
requires a lot of like
go through
expert
people.
precision to do that, though. Like to use that tool.
A gun?
Yeah.
Aim, gun, pull trigger.
That's not that simple.
It really is, though.
I mean,
it really is,
on
though.
paper, when you're just looking at somebody and gun pull trigger, sure, but like in the middle of like a
Oh, you have to aim it just right to make it go through as many people as you magically want.
Okay.
Conveniently.
Stop.
No.
That was cool. It was cool.
That was so freaking dope. I loved it.
Normally, I'm entertained by
Why
this.
is Crosshair the only one who gets to shoot through like 10 different people with 1 blaster bolt in the whole Star Wars galaxy?
I feel like we've seen it happen before. I can't think of any
Where?
examples off the top of my head, but I feel
All
like
right,
we've seen
then.
it before.
Didn't happen then.
You're no fun sometimes.
Just
Oh,
saying.
wow.
I know. But no, regardless of whatever the hell you say, that was cool as hell. I also like seeing them work together again. That was really
Yes.
fun. It was nice. It
That
made me
was
happy.
incredible.
One of the other things I love about Crosshair is the way that like he's really good with angles. Like I like watching him like completely shift his vantage point, where like he like turns the blaster and his head like in a weird position.
But he's
in the
still
sem
able to
way
get
that
the
like
shot
I was
off.
saying before, he's able to get the shot off, and like I was saying like a week or two ago, like I'm currently replaying the PlayStation Spider-Man games, right? And there's a scene in one of the DLC missions, like right after Miles is initially bitten by his spider, where he's talking to Peter, and they're like Peter's starting to train Miles, but like Miles has his Spider-Man homework, which is like, and there's like a bunch of equations, and he's like, why are you giving me like this weird complex math homework? He's like, I can do it. I'm just confused as to why. And he's talking about, he's like, well, these are the equations that like you kind of have to learn to be able to do in your head in real time to like pull off the web swinging and shit like that. That like you need to do like these weird physics problems in your mind so that like at what angle and velocity and all that kind of nonsense. And it's comic booky and it's dumb, but it also on paper makes sense. And I kind of like that. And I kind of like that Crosshair does the same thing, the same way that like Captain America in the comics, a lot of the time, if they're not going with the whole like there's a magnet on the shield that makes it come back to him, that Cap is doing mathematic equations, like they're doing all these like crazy equations as to like the trajectory of the shield and how to make it bounce back to him. And I kind of like that Crosshair might be like, that might be the same thing with Crosshair, is that there's like he's doing the equations, like what angle so I can like make it ricochet off the side of a tank to hit somebody in the thigh type nonsense. I like it. Like it's
I think that's what he does. Also, when they start fighting the droids, his sniper rifle does not go through multiple droids.
Metal is thicker than flesh.
Yeah, and they are like an early iteration
armor.
of Dark
Well, the
Troopers.
armor is never meant to be super tough to like block a blaster bolt. It's meant to try to dissipate the heat.
Which would imply that it doesn't go through your body, though, 5 times from a blaster pistol. But when you switch to a sniper rifle, it only goes through 1.
Are you happy with yourself? Are you pleased with the work you've done here? You're no fun.
Just saying.
I know. But anyway, I think Crosshair had a really good showing, and he's made up for missed time in the past few episodes.
Yep.
So you have your prediction? Domino Squad
Echo's
officially
dead.
falls?
Yeah.
I need you to be wrong.
Which has been a prediction of mine since
Yeah.
before the first episode.
TCW even.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Back when we were talking about season 7, you were saying you thought Crosshair was going to bite it. Or
Oh,
not
yeah,
Crosshair.
yeah.
Echo.
Yeah.
Connor, any final predictions going into the final episode of the first season?
Dude, I don't know. I wonder. This is something I've wondered a bit. I wonder if I almost said Echo. I kind of wonder if Echo will ever get an arm back. If he doesn't die.
He does. Like, one of the Hot Toys has him with like a normal hand.
Oh.
And not only does he have a normal hand in one of the Hot Toys, he has like an extendo arm. Like a go-go gadget long arm type
like
shit.
An arm.
Mm.
Like it's clearly a mechanical arm.
Yeah. Like it
like
looks
it's clearly a cybernetic prosthetic.
Okay. But it's still coated, so it looks like an
Anakin's.
Okay. Okay, that's cool.
Like Anakin's. Like this is a piece of metal that is clearly an arm, but it's a metal arm.
Yeah.
Did we see
that can go?
Did we see Anakin's prosthetic get put on, or was it just implied in the next episode, or when we next see him?
He gets it replaced before the end of the movie. He has like the really weird skeletal one, and then at some point during the war, he gets like the thicker black one.
That's like heavy duty. He ever like decided to wear really long sleeves, and with his cybernetic arm, he hides it in the sleeve, and he's holding one of those grapplers with like 2 prongs. Because if I were in his shoes, I'd have done that and convinced everyone that the shitty prosthetic I was left with was like 2 prosthetics. And then just one day I would just reach out with their hand.
Let's be really
See, I want everybody to realize that is the best peek in the Levi's brain you're ever going to get. Is that he's like, your first instinct is like, oh man, I have a metal arm now. I'm going to convince people my metal arm is weirder than it actually is.
Yeah, yeah. And then like just some random, like if a drink was being brought to me and it was sat down on the side of my prosthetic, I would just like pull it out of my sleeve, just sit the grappler down and start drinking with my prosthetic.
That was one of the weirdest things in like Legends, was the weird inconsistency about what Anakin did with that hand. Because there would be some things.
Masturbated, probably.
Well, I mean, probably, but
I hate
like
that
there would be
was my first
sometimes.
thought too.
Well, I meant that like sometimes you see him and he just like it's just like, hi, here's this weird gold hand that I have.
Mm.
And then other times he'd just have like Luke does, like he'd just have like a normal black glove over his hand.
Yeah.
And then other times he has like the big cool glove, like the Anakin glove, that he has in Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith. And then other times he just let it out. Like, I don't know. Like
It's not a phase master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, like the inconsistencies of like, okay, is it like creepy and skeletal, or is it just this big, like bold, brassy, black with gold trim piece? But I hope Crosshair gets a normal hand, just as I want that hot toy to have some payoff, because I want to see him like Go Gadget punch someone in the mouth. Like I really want to see that.
Yeah, no, I think you meant to say Echo, not Crosshair.
God damn it! I did it again.
You absolutely said Crosshair.
Yeah. But yeah, that
Fun
is...
fact: my Nana still worked at the Verizon building in Pittsburgh, which was where they shot a lot of the Inspector Gadget movie.
Oh.
Like she watched a lot of the filming of the Matthew Broderick one.
Oh, interesting.
More you know.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my
Completely
only prediction. I have nothing
Now
else.
I want to watch that movie. Now I want to watch it, like really badly. That's been on the list of things of like, man, I liked this a lot when I was a kid. I bet this doesn't hold up at all. I'm not going to watch it as an adult. I'm going to pretend it's still good. So you think Echo dies?
Yeah.
Hopefully Echo doesn't, and he gets an arm. Connor, any predictions at the end here?
Other than Echo maybe getting an arm? Nope.
Well, I don't have anything else at this point, honestly. My thing was I thought the Empire was going to lay waste to Camino in the end, and here we are, and we're going to be watching it happen over the course of the finale. So excited for that. So yeah,
yay!
They should harvest Camino for water and sell water to the desert planets.
That requires the Empire doing like any small ounce of like humanitarian work.
So much money can be made there, though.
I know, but you must understand that the Empire has to be so hilariously, unambiguously evil that even though it would be exploitative philanthropy, it would still be in some way, shape, or form helping the world.
I want to see Levi run the Empire and see how successful he'd be. I'm like actually curious about
the war. They wouldn't lose the war. I'll start you with that one right now.
They would not
lose the Galactic Civil War. And I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean that as like Jared's the guy who's like, oh, you did nothing wrong. I love to make that joke. No, he makes Sheev look like a bitch. Like,
some of you will die. That is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
None of that.
A lot of people wouldn't be happy, but
you'd get the job
would
done.
do a great job.
You would be really good at being a horrific dictator.
I don't know.
You would be remarkable.
I wouldn't have camps. I mean, I'm only half joking when I say we should put such and such in a camp. Like diagonal jaywalkers.
Yeah, I was going to say, a little quick caveat. It's not like any ethnic groups. It's like you just said, like if you jaywalk diagonally.
What a piece of
camp.
Shit you are.
I can't wait to write the episode description for this.
You choose to exist in a place you're not supposed to be, and you choose to stay there the maximum amount of time by going diagonally instead of straight across. Camp.
Looks like I'm in camp then. Because I've done that once or twice.
What's funny is like the episode description is going to be so much fun. Just like Jared can't get any of the names of the characters right in this show he's been reviewing for 2 months, and Levi starts advocating for concentration camps.
Work camps.
Work camps. You're going to concentrate on your work if you jaywalk.
They're no good to me dead.
Jesus Christ.
But no camps, but Iron Fist definitely militaristic at first. Yeah, I would have so many plans. The Death Star wouldn't be one of them. That's stupid. Gotta get lots of pictures with the kids.
I hate how good you are. He's immediately like, I need to make sure the kids like me.
You have to mingle with the people.
You can't go into hiding like Palpatine did.
Especially
no,
the next generation.
You have to. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Don't
Plus,
make
if
a
you're
Death
with the
Star
people-
waste a terrible amount of resources. Use those resources for
Correct.
something better. Mingle with the next generation.
Correct.
And I'm not sure what my third option would be to help Levi with this.
My third option is to like actually mingle, go down there, and then you actually see the problems, and then like you can fix it. But the problems can be like localized to planet, right? It can't be just macro managing. You have to micro, and then that's when you find people, right, to do that for you. And if they don't do it for you, then those are the people who die, who I would kill. Right? Just to make an example out of them. And then, yeah. I'd win.
He'd beat the rebels. You'd beat them into the ground.
I would... Yeah, I would pull the rug out from under them. I would find a way to...
But also, just
kind
from
of
what you're
give the
saying,
people
I don't get the
what the rebels
vibe.
would be giving.
I don't get the vibe that you'd also be like subjugating entire species either.
No.
Like you wouldn't have
no.
like the Wookiee slave trade going on.
No. I would not be doing that.
You know, or like or the way that like Palpatine made it so like the entire galaxy would become human supremacists because of the Clone War.
No, I'm very like Darth Malgus in that way. Like meritocracy. If you have the what do you call it? A talent. There's a better word for it, but if you have a talent, you are of use to me and to your community. Yeah, and then you will be treated as a member of society. And everyone has a talent. Everyone has something they can do.
Yeah. You know, that's always been one of the things with Legends. Like,
I like
Dooku. Dooku, by the end of the war, became weirdly specious.
Yes.
And
yeah,
it always boggled my mind, dark side or light side, quite frankly, how someone who can touch the Force could ever develop any type of like bigotry. You know, like even if you're no longer a Jedi and you don't have this like harmonious connection to the Force,
yeah,
you're still aware of the way that it binds the galaxy together. And the way that Dooku could ever like at that point, like everyone around you is touched by the Force. Everyone is connected by the Force. It never made sense to me that anyone who was Force sensitive could be space racist. Spacist, you know?
Yeah.
Especially Count Dooku. Like it feels like a layup because he's like, it seems easy to make him be a white supremacist,
maybe
like
he
a
was
space version of a white supremacist, but like
maybe he was just sick of dealing with all the non-human politicians in the CIS.
That's literally what it was.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Where he was like, I can't stand Newt Gunray, I can't stand Poggle the Lesser, I can't stand whatever the hell Wat Tambor is. Yes. I'm tired of all of them. And he's like, you know what? I hate all aliens now. I hate them all. I hate all aliens now.
Yeah, he's had such limited experience ever since he turned dark side and went with the ploy. He just became a raging racist.
Nice catch there.
That was a really good
That
catch.
That almost got really upsetting.
But yeah, little tidbit for those of you who didn't play Star Wars Old Republic. Malgus, insane, crazy,
Bloodthirsty.
not racist.
Yes.
So take that for what you will.
Sometimes for certain characters, the bar is on the floor. When you're a mass murderer, listen, I don't remember how it came up. There was some stupid joke we were talking about with like nerd stuff. It was me, Travis, and Alexis when we were watching the Schmodown Collision. And we brought up one of my favorite, the funniest things that has ever happened in a comic book ever. And it was this scene in like a Marvel and DC crossover after the Joker and the Red Skull really hit it off.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Joker realized that the Red Skull is a Nazi.
Yeah.
And he was like, I might be a raging homicidal monster, but I'm an American. And then proceeded to beat the piss out of the Red Skull. All that to say, Connor, where can the lovely people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at DepaBanana, Instagram, ConmanJFO, Facebook at the Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics, a group I help admin that really our whole mission is to talk Star Wars positively and constructively. You can also find me very, very, very slowly writing articles for on StarWarsEditorIG.com. My most recent one, although the site is down, my most recent one was an interview with the writer of this episode of Bad Batch, Matt Miknovitz, where I talked to him about his work on Fallen Order. It was a great time. Hopefully, once the site is back up, you can all read it and enjoy it. So that's where you can find me.
I want everybody to know, because I'm greedy, I'm the one who shut down Star Wars Editor. It was me. I want Connor all to myself.
Okay.
He plays for Team TNAP. And I will fight Jake and whoever I have to. Single combat. I'm kidding. They're all lovely people. I hope the website's up and running again soon. I'm gonna add a clause to Connor's contract that has an exclusivity agreement. I'm kidding. No, I'm trolling everyone. Levi, where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
Technically on Twitter at Levi_bomb, but I'm not looking at Twitter anymore.
He's smarter than all of us.
And Dooku became the racist he was because he didn't go down to the people.
You're right.
Right? I'm on to something, man. Yeah. How old do you have to be to run for president?
35.
35. 22 now. 13 years. Levi bombed 2034.
And you're going to randomly find the Senate and the House debating how long term limits should be because he's going to become an emperor.
I'll just pull martial law. Someone can turn the populace against the legislation. They're such an easy scapegoat, and they make it easy for whoever's trying to become a despot.
It's just like how often you never talk about this without even a hint of irony.
We failed democracy, man. We suck at it. We're so bad. And this is what Star Wars is about, honestly. At least for 6 episodes.
You're right.
What do I know? Jared.
Yes.
Where can the lovely future subjects of me find you?
You guys can find me leading a rebellion against Levi's despotic regime.
You can find Jared on the gallows at...
My last words will be Oyo Boyos. just to try to reach you deep down.
The history books will say it was followed by Emperor Levi's horrifying laugh.
You guys, I can't believe this. You fight me on the gallows. I deserve a beheading.
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Find him on the chopping block at
Dark Jedi 2552. And you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous and you want Levi to then do some type of embezzlement where our Patreon ends up funding his campaign at the website on the Patreon link. Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Case and Brion, the Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, Zach Knaus, Michael Armburst, and Jared the Light Sith. Funny.
Those are a few new names.
Michael Armburst and Jared the Light Sith are. Jared the Light Sith is the new name for Never Gonna Give You Up, Never Gonna Let You Down. They're
Changed it.
Yes, he is changing his name every month. And I want to know who it is so bad. Be sure to consider the $5 tier, where you get access to KNR Versus Series. August is going to be Mace Windu versus Darth Malak, Heroic History 101, and the TNAT Movie Club audio commentaries. What were you about to say, bud?
I was about to say that I think Windu's going to win.
I have to tune in to find out if Levi's right.
It's in his name, and he still has a jaw.
Is that a deciding factor for you? And I see now. I want to have
more. He can talk more stuff.
He can say the Samuel L. Jackson words.
What can Malak do? He can talk through a. Yeah, my real name used to be Alec.
Emperor Vitiate wasn't trying really hard.
Alec versus Mace. Who do you think would win that?
It's not Alec.
Smart
it's
Alec.
Malak. Darth Malak. Listen, Vitiate didn't even do anything with Revan. He literally just put a Darth in front of his already menacing name.
Yeah, I know.
Which is funnier. Be sure to check out the student store link on our website where you can check out our TeePublic, get all manner of Nerd Academy merch and goodies. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things. We are honored that you have joined us, and may the Force be with you always.
And vote
for whomever is running against Levi.
Stop!
Did you do that? What?
Nope.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!